Hi, Bold Thinkers. It's Kanesha from boldlivingtoday.com. Happy National Women's Health Week. I am so excited to bring to you a week of amazing, bold, talented, creative, and just all around great experts on the area and idea and topic of wellness. And so I was super excited to start this series just because a lot of us have been dealing with a lot of things going on during this time in our lives, and we've had to find different ways to cope, different ways to take care of ourselves and the people around us. And so I want this to be the time and space for you to learn and to affirm some things you're doing and to also upgrade some areas of your wellness. And so I think you'll want to get your journal, take some good notes, because I'm super thrilled and excited to introduce you all, if you don't already know about her, to Laure Carter. She is amazing. I'll let her introduce herself, but I'm so excited to have this conversation with her today and to learn from her and to just continue to upgrade my wellness habits. So welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Kanesha. Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled that you're putting together this week of wellness tips for women, for your women followers, to support them, to guide them. This is what people need right now. So thank you so much. And to tell you a little bit about me, I'm Laure Carter. And as my name indicates, I'm actually French American, right? Hence the accent too. And I'm an Ayurvedic diet and lifestyle coach, right? And so maybe your next question is, what is Ayurveda?
Yes, I think that is the next question because, before I was introduced to you and introduced to the whole Ayurvedic diet and lifestyle and different things you can do, just small tweaks to improve your overall well-being, I really was not aware of it. So tell us what it is.
Yes. Ayurveda, or Ayurvedic medicine, as it is also known, is literally means the science or the knowledge of life, of one's life, literally. Sanskrit is the language of Ayurveda, and Sanskrit is the world's oldest Indo-European language, right? So it dates thousands of years ago, and so does Ayurveda. And Ayur in Sanskrit means life, and Ved or Veda means knowledge. So it's truly the knowledge of one's life. And it's also called Ayurvedic medicine because it was, and it still is to some degree, a medicine in its own right. And I said it still is to some degree because it hails from India. And right now we are finding that it's at least 5,000 years old. So it's been around for a long time. And since it's been around for a long time, it really has been tested and proven, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't have lasted that long. And the reason I'm saying at least it was is because, as you know, India was under British imperialism. And during that time, British imperialism basically banned Ayurvedic schools and Ayurvedic hospitals, thinking that Western modern medicine, like other British systems, were the best, right? It was the best. And so I like to tell this story because then it makes people think what it took for such an amazing natural, one of the world's oldest system of natural and holistic healthcare to have survived, thousands of years under even, imperialism, right?
Right. So usually when you get clients or you get followers coming to you, what are they coming to you initially for? Because I know a lot of times with my clients, they come to me like, I want more productivity strategies, but really what we end up working on is their creativity and overall inner wellness. So when people come to you, what are they usually coming to you for?
So usually it's managing their weight, right? That's the first thing that people know me for, me personally. However, Ayurvedic medicine has treatment protocols for most symptoms and pathologies out there. It really is what is called a complementary medicine to our allopathic Western medicine. So how it is complementary is basically it takes care of everything that allopathic medicine doesn't really takes care of, meaning when you have a symptom or when you have a pathology, you go see an expert, someone who specializes in that particular symptom or that particular pathology, right? And that person treats the symptom, or most of the time puts a band-aid on the symptoms, or, you know, addresses the pathology. Well, Ayurvedic medicine addresses everything else, the whole of the person. So I like to say that there are three benefits or pillars to Ayurvedic medicine. The first one is that it does address the whole person, mind, body, soul, right? It truly is a holistic medicine. Number two, it is a customized medicine, meaning that the first step when you are interested in working with an Ayurvedic practitioner, whether you have a symptom or a pathology, the first step would be to have a consultation. It's a long consultation to enable the practitioner to identify what is your unique psychosomatic constitution and what is the unique nature of your imbalance, right? And then the third aspect is that it really focuses on the root cause. So it doesn't focus on the symptom. It focuses on what triggered the symptom in the first place. And that's the reason why it has to be holistic, right? It has to take into account the whole person.
Wow. So, you know, I've been looking at your videos. You know, you have I think it's excellent, people. It's very bold. It's very impactful. I think it's great. Excellent YouTube series, and I've been following along through your newsletter and learning from you and things like that. And I love how you say, you know, when you are improving your digestion, for example, when you're improving your digestion, it's not looking at what you eat, but how you eat. Can you say a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So, you know, talking about wellness and health, this is one of the first pillars of wellness and health from the perspective of Ayurvedic medicine. Most of the time when we think about nutrition or diet, or foods in general, we think about what we eat. So oftentimes people who are going, in some of the cases, I mean, when people first came to me, usually was for weight management, they would come to me and thinking that I would tell them, okay, so eat salads and eat this and eat that. And well, not exactly, because from an Ayurvedic perspective, what is important is how you digest your food, right? So you can eat the best foods possible, but if after eating you experience gas and bloating, indigestion, you feel heavy or sleepy, obviously your digestion is not working properly. And one of the ways, perhaps the most important way of helping or repairing or strengthening or restoring your digestion is by focusing as well on how you eat. So one of the simple things, very simple, is, for example, eat without any distractions. Right? Eat in a calm environment without any distractions. And it's so simple, but at the same time, it has such an amazing impact. So something like that, I'll give you, I had a client of mine, that was the first recommendation that I gave her. I didn't even change anything else but that. I asked her to sit down when she eats and just, you know, she doesn't have to eat for 20 minutes. You can finish your meal in 10, 15 minutes, right? But not to do anything else, not to look on her computer, not to watch a movie, not to read a book, just focusing on that. Now, one of the reasons that she came to me is because she had debilitating gas and bloating symptoms. Within a few days, I'm not talking weeks, I'm talking days of just eating mindfully without distraction, her gas and bloating lessened down to 70, 60, 70%. It's as this is the importance of how you eat, right?
That's amazing. Like, I love how you say that, it's so critical or important to be mindful about things. And I know when I'm telling or working with a client and they're thinking, I just can't get anything done. I have so many distractions, as you mentioned. And I always say, let's be mindful. Let's have the right, routine or ritual that is going to fit what you want to do, so you can be mindful and find out, where the triggers are, or where, procrastination comes in. And so thinking about us slowing down, monotasking, so we can be more thoughtful and mindful about taking care of ourselves, I just don't think that's said enough. It's usually the other side. Watch what you eat, exercise a lot, but you're just saying, just slow down and be mindful about what we're intaking. I,
Yes,
I,
absolutely.
I love it. I love it. So, okay. For a lot of people, when they think about slowing down or like shifting their habits, anxiety and pressure of failing or not being able to do something so simple, or, getting it wrong, that comes up. And I know you talk about using breathing as a technique to help manage some of those symptoms. So just tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. So let's go back to the example of eating mindfully. If it is challenging for someone to eat mindfully, just the practice of taking 3 breaths before eating, so that you bring yourself into the here and the now, is already a huge practice. It's just 3 breaths before you start gulping down your food, right?
Yeah.
So that's the context of eating your food. Outside of the context of eating your food, you may not know, but Ayurveda is actually oftentimes called the sister science to yoga, right? And so what happens is that they borrow or many different strategies. So in terms of breath and breathing, we know that our breath is directly connected to our nervous system, right? Just take an example of when we're stressed out and the breath is very shallow.
Yes.
The mere action of deepening the breath already triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of the aspect of your nervous system that helps you relax and calm down, right? Just by taking a deep breath. So when I work with people, of course, I give them specific breathing techniques that oftentimes are borrowed from the yoga folklore. But at the beginning, it's just simply noticing. That's the first step. Noticing where the breath is, how the breath is, and then consciously breathing. And you already know that conscious breathing uses a different part of the brain, right? When unconscious breathing is the function of the medulla oblongata, which is basically the part of our reptilian brain, our most basic brain function, right? But when we bring consciousness by just stopping a moment, recognizing this is how I'm breathing, or I'm holding my breath, and then taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out, we use the frontal cortex of our brain, which as humans, we are the only ones, this is the most advanced, the most recent part of our brains, we are the only one using that part of our brain. And it's also connected to our ability to create, to think, to be discriminative. So at the same time, you breathe, you bring yourself down, you calm your nervous system down, but you also bring clarity to your mind. All of this by just taking one deep breath in and out.
I love it. I love it. I know you have me breathing deeper now. I'm going through it. It's so good. I mean, even though I'm relaxed, I'm even more relaxed now and just feeling my body more. I love it. Thank you. Okay. So this is something that I was super excited about learning from you. And you mentioned it when we were, discussing having our conversation today. So you were talking about a Ayurvedic self-massage and improving the lymphatic system or circulation and calming the mind. And right now, especially during this time when we've been in home, I've been, reading more about circulation and things like that. And I've been so excited and enjoying my dry brushing, which has been such a kind of great ritual, especially for the days I wake up just like, oh, another same day. I'm like, nope, I want to change my mindset. I want to be more mindful and get into my day and, appreciate this time that I have. So tell us about this self-massage and how we can do it and improve our circulation.
Yes, yes, fantastic. So you mentioned self-massage, and then you mentioned also dry brushing, which from an Ayurvedic perspective are two different techniques, and
Okay.
they're very, very beneficial, right?
Okay.
And so I'll just talk about a little bit about both, since you mentioned both, right?
Please, yes.
So dry massage in terms of the lymphatic system. Perhaps many of your listeners know that about 70 to 80% of our immune system is located in the lymphatic vessels in our digestive tract, right? In our digestive system. So this is the importance of being able to support our lymphatic system, our lymphatic drainage. Why? Because the lymphatic system is actually the only system that doesn't move on its own, unlike the circulatory system, right? So we need to make it move so that it can not only bring nutrients to the whole of our bodies, our cells, but it can also properly remove waste, toxins, and impurities from the cells so that we can eliminate them, right? Dry brushing is one of the best ways to do that. So I applaud you for doing the dry brushing, especially in the morning. And then you may have also felt that it gives you more energy.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So it's a fantastic practice, right? So the only recommendation for the listeners that I would make is if you have a sensitive skin, then you might use what we call Garshana gloves. And the Garshana gloves are raw silk gloves. And it almost feels like nothing is happening because they are so soft, but trust me, something is happening. And if you have a thicker skin and you can't stand the bristles, the dry brush bristles, then use a dry brush, as simple as that, right? And so the other practice that you mentioned is self-massage. And in Sanskrit, in Ayurveda, we call this abhyanga. And it's done with oil, your favorite oil that you want to use. You want to warm up your oil a little bit. And basically, you massage yourself, your whole body, wherever you can reach, making long strokes on the long parts of the body, so the limbs, and then round strokes or rotation strokes on the what you call it, the word comes to me in French, not in English, on the joints. Here we go. Articulation. No, you don't say the whole conversation in my head. No, it's not articulation.
I love it. I love it. That's good. We probably have some French speakers out there like, I know what she's thinking.
Yes, the joints. And so what this does is that it supports, just like a regular massage, it supports the circulatory system, right? Which is also very important. And on top of supporting the circulatory system, it also calms the nervous system down, right? Any kind of self-touch, self-massage, any time of self-care practice where you connect with yourself calms the nervous system down, right? And then the third effect of this, and I think it's hugely important for women, because I don't know one woman who doesn't look at herself with critical eyes.
Oh, yeah.
The third thing that it allows us to do is to give ourselves some degree of self-love, whether we are convinced by it or not. By massaging ourselves, we develop the practice of self-love, self-compassion, self-acceptance. Hugely important for overall health and wellness, right?
I mean, yes, like absolutely. I just love how you tied all of these wellness practices, but specifically around the body care in that case around self-love, self-compassion. I'm always telling people when we're working together, whether, telling myself, telling friends, telling clients, I'm like, the self-compassion piece is so critical for us to move in any positive direction of like daily wellness, and I'm talking about just small steps of, just getting up, journaling, reading your day, doing your meditations or whatever your wellness ritual is, that self-compassion that you would extend to others. We definitely have to start with ourselves. I'm so glad you emphasized that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's in our Western modern society, we are overly focused on the body, that we forget we're not just our bodies. And from actually an Ayurvedic perspective, imbalance starts in the mind. It starts with the anxiety, it starts with the self-judgment, self-criticism. It starts with the beginning depression, the feeling overwhelmed, the fear. It starts there, and from there we start having digestive issues, and then if we don't address those digestive issues, then the imbalance carries further into the body, and we have other types of symptoms, and then that end up being full-blown pathologies. So it is absolutely not just important, fundamental that we address our mind, our emotions, and our spirit. How the opposite of fear is faith. There's no other way. So when we really want to let go of fear, we have to develop our sense of faith. We have to develop a state of faith.
Absolutely. I mean, you just said a message. You just said it. So, I mean, I have been learning so much just in our time together, and I know other people are going to want to get in contact with you. So how can we find you? How can we continue to learn from you? How can you support us with your work? Tell us all about that.
Thank you. Yes. So everything is really on my website, LaureCarter.com. So it's my name. And there you will be able to find the different ways, different programs that I offer. So the first thing I would recommend people, I have a free short Ayurvedic quiz, right? And when you take the short Ayurvedic quiz, people are often surprised because they don't know necessarily, even though it's written in black and white. I actually give you a personal video feedback on how you might be able to address one of the symptoms that jumps at me when I see your answers, right? So that's the first step. I did this short Ayurvedic quiz to give people an experience of what it means to practice Ayurveda, right? Literally practice Ayurveda. And then, of course, I suggest at the end of the Ayurvedic quiz, if they want to dive a little deeper, I offer a complimentary 45-minute clarity call. And it's called a clarity call because it helps people have more clarity on what would be their next step in their health and wellness journey, right? And then I have quite a few online courses. They are standalone courses, meaning you can take the course and go at your own pace. I have one specifically on immunity and how to strengthen your immune defense. So with Ayurveda, so it's a step-by-step system that you can easily follow at your own pace. And it's video mainly. And I also have, so the reason why I did this course is, yes, because of what is happening right now, but also because, oftentimes people have a tendency, there's a saying in Chinese medicine, actually, it is not when your house is on fire that you have to build a well. You want to kind of build a well, but ahead of time, before your house, gets on fire. So it's not just for now. It's for the rest of your life, how to build your immunity from an Ayurvedic perspective, which means from a holistic perspective. And then I also have other courses. You can sign up. I have free resources, like you mentioned, with videos and blogs, and you can sign up for my newsletter. I usually send out a newsletter twice a month. I don't like to overwhelm people. I do a little bit more if I have something going on, an event or things like that. And I also have, since you told me to say everything that I have.
I did. Be bold. Say it all.
And then I also have a membership, the Inner Circle membership. And it's, you know, however long, it's a monthly, you can go monthly, you can sign up for a whole year. And it really, I think it's the best way to progressively and slowly understand about Ayurveda and implement Ayurvedic practices into one's life, basically, right? And so much more.
No, I love it. I mean, I think it's super important for people to understand, you know, what someone who is really so passionate and, you know, really focused on helping people, they really need to know how they can get the best of you in supporting themselves. And I know as women, a lot of times we say, oh, maybe later, or I'll, you know, make some time. The time is right now. We need to be focused on our overall wellness, especially considering the time. And even though we have other things preoccupying our mind, it's always a good time to take excellent and exceptional care of yourselves, no matter what.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. You know, that's one of the reasons why I focus mainly on women, is because women are the first educators. So now we know that we pass on unconsciously our own habits and, you know, conditioning choices to our children. So it is up to us to make the change so that what we pass on are healthy habits and choices to our children. And so I tend to think that women's health is the whole family's health.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Bold Thinkers, Bold Living Today community, check out Laure's work. We will have the information at the end of this video, just in case you missed something, or just rewind it, just so you can get the information and follow. And what's your Instagram handle so people can follow you along there too?
At Laure_lifestyle, and Facebook is at Laure Lifestyle in one word.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, you won't be disappointed. It's good information. I look forward to it every time she sends out a newsletter, and I love the cooking demo videos. It's really important to, you know, learn the information and then learn how to implement it. And I think you do a phenomenal job with that. So thank you so much. Yeah,
thank you.
And stay tuned, everybody, for the rest of the series. And if you have any questions, please, you know, let either of us know and stay in contact. And we hope you have a really great day and a really great National Women's Health Week. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Laure.
Thank you, Kanesha.